kind of extreme lengths will she go through to accomplish this? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Next clip, the bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal there are 3 must-see moments for the week of May 5, 2025. Fans can expect Hope Logan, Annika Noel, to learn about Liam Spencer's, Scott Clifton, death sentence. Luna Nozowa, Lisa Yamada, corners John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. Next week, one must-see moment centers on Hope finding out about her ex-husband's brain tumor. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Mythsinswood, and Finn reluctantly agreed to keep Liam's diagnosis a secret. However, Steffi pressured him to tell Hope the truth. Steffi was hoping that Liam would have told Hope when they met alone. Liam admitted that he chickened out. That will compel Steffi to take drastic action. Steffi meets with Hope to tell her the truth about Liam. Steffi can't quite get the words out, and when she starts sobbing, Hope knows it's serious and bad. Thankfully, fans will see Hope and Steffi put their differences aside. They will band together for Liam, which is a nice twist to this storyline. I always prefer seeing women unite rather than bicker over a man. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that another must-see moment features Luna. Fans recall that Luna and Sheila Carter-Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, recently talked about Steffi keeping them both away from Finn. Sheila insisted that it wasn't right, and next thing you know, Luna is cornering Finn. In a preview clip, Luna pleads with Finn not to turn his back on his own daughter. Finn would never intentionally set out to deceive Steffi. However, I could see him thinking that now isn't the time to burden Steffi with more news about Luna. I could see Finn secretly bonding with Luna with the intention of telling Steffi the truth after Liam's death. Of course, fans know that twists and curveballs in soaps always complicate plans. Fans will also see Liam face Bill Spencer, Don Diamond. Remember, Bill has no clue that Liam had a seizure right there in his living room, much less that he has a brain tumor. There will be a confrontation and a reckoning, but it could change everything. How will Bill and Liam's relationship be after the brain tumor bombshell drops? Next clip. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of March 5, 2025. It shows Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Mythsinswood, dropping a bombshell on Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Luna Nozowa, Lisa Yamada, turns to John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. Plus, Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, desperately demands that Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, be with her. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera next week. Make sure to check out our next week B&B spoilers here. For starters, the preview clip begins with Steffi, who has asked Hope to meet her. Even though Hope recently saw Liam, she has no idea that he's dying. Liam just couldn't bring himself to tell Hope that he has an inoperable brain tumor. Liam did offer a few hints, but Hope didn't seem to pick up on them. When Hope arrives, she asks Steffi why she wanted to meet. The brunette informs her it's about Liam. Normally, Hope would roll her eyes. But she knows something is very wrong because of Steffi's sobbing. Luna and Sheila Carter-Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, both feel that Steffi has ripped Finn away from them. While Luna is still obsessing over Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, she also wants a relationship with her father. In a preview clip, Luna corners her bio dad. Luna pleads with Finn not to turn his back on her. Luna also makes sure to remind Finn that she's not just some distant family member, but his daughter. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Luna's request will put Finn in a tough spot. Finn wants to be present in his daughter's life. However, there is no way that Steffi will ever allow that. Luna didn't just murder Tom Starr, Clint Howard, and Paul Hollis Hollister, Hollister W. Chambers. Luna also kept a drugged Steffi locked in a cage with the intention of letting her die. So Finn could feel torn between Luna and Steffi. Fans can also expect Daphne to once again try to tempt Carter. Daphne is very pushy and demanding about it this time, though. Daphne steps toward Carter as he takes a step back. The nose orders him to forget about Hope and start planning a future with the woman right in front of him. Something tells me that Daphne could go too far trying to get what and who she wants. As May sweeps hit full throttle, the bold and the beautiful is pulling no punches. The week of May 5 to 9 promises intense emotional moments, dramatic character interactions, and several casting changes that will leave fans buzzing. While familiar faces bid farewell, others stir the pot, shaking up the lives of the Forresters, Logans, and Spencers. From emotional truth bombs to secret agendas, here's everything happening next week in Los Angeles. The glitz and glam of the much-anticipated fashion show have officially come to an end. With it, several notable guest stars who graced the canvas over the past few weeks are making their way out of the storylines, at least for now. Among the departing stars is Laura Lee Bell, who reprised her role as Christine Blair from The Young and the Restless. Her crossover arc added a sophisticated touch of Genoa City flair to the LA fashion scene. But her business is concluded, and she's heading back east. Also exiting are Markel Washington, Heidi Montag, and Spencer Pratt, who brought a fun influencer-style energy to the fashion show atmosphere. Their presence generated buzz both on and off-screen, but the spotlight has moved on, and the runway is now clear for other characters to take center stage. Additionally, Verena Banks wrapped up her guest stint as Miranda, a character who helped steer some behind-the-scenes drama. Though her role was brief, it added a crucial undercurrent to the industry chaos. Still, as B&B fans know, exits on this soap are rarely final. These characters could return at any moment, especially as other storylines heat up. Back on the scene is Luna Nozowa, played by Lisa Yamada, whose return on Thursday, May 8, promises to stir up serious family drama. After being off the canvas briefly, Luna is back and determined to connect with her biological father, John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Nublin. Luna's journey has been fraught with pain, rejection, and longing. Now that she's back, she's on a mission to forge a relationship with Finn. But this isn't going to be easy, especially with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Finswood, standing in her way. In the preview clip for the week, Luna is seen cornering Finn, emotionally pleading with him not to turn his back on her. She insists she's not just another distant relative, but his daughter. Her words pack a punch, especially as she tugs on Finn's heartstrings and questions whether he can really deny her the chance to know him. One of the biggest storylines of the week involves Hope Logan, Annika Noel, discovering the devastating truth about Liam Spencer's, Scott Clifton, condition. Up to this point, only a handful of people know that Liam is suffering from an inoperable brain tumor. Finn and Steffi chose to keep the diagnosis a secret for now. But secrets never stay buried for long in the world of soaps. Initially, Steffi pressured Liam to come clean to Hope. But when the two met alone, Liam chickened out, unable to find the words. Now, with time ticking and emotions high, Steffi decides to take matters into her own hands. She arranges a private meeting with Hope, determined to deliver the news herself. When Hope sees Steffi's tears, she knows something is seriously wrong. Steffi can barely get the words out, but eventually, the truth hits like a wrecking ball. Liam is dying. Despite their complicated history and years of rivalry, Hope and Steffi manage to put their differences aside. In a heartwarming twist, they come together to support Liam in his final days. Their united front is a refreshing change and shows the power of shared love and compassion. Back on Finn's side of town, Luna's return triggers a major internal conflict. Finn desperately wants to be there for his daughter, but Steffi has made it crystal clear. Luna is not welcome. And for good reason. Luna's past actions have been unforgivable. Not only did she have a hand in Tom Starr's, Clint Howard, and Hollis Hollister's, Hollister W. Chambers, deaths, but she also drugged and imprisoned Steffi, nearly letting her die in a locked cage. While Finn would never betray Steffi intentionally, his compassion for Luna is undeniable. Shella Carter-Sharp, Kimberlin Brown, continues to whisper in Luna's ear, fueling the narrative that Steffi is controlling and vindictive, keeping both of them away from Finn. The question now is, will Finn risk his marriage to build a relationship with Luna? Or will he wait until after Liam's situation plays out, hoping for a less volatile moment to confront Steffi with the truth? Meanwhile, Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, has no idea what's happening under his own roof. Liam had a seizure right in front of him, but Bill remains in the dark about his son's grim diagnosis. This week, expect a powerful confrontation between father and son. Liam finally opens up, revealing that he's dying. The news hits Bill like a freight train. A man used to control and power, Bill suddenly finds himself powerless to save his son. Will this tragedy finally bring Bill and Liam closer, or will it drive a wedge between them? Their strained relationship has always been a tug-of-war between love and ego, but death has a way of resetting everything. As if there wasn't enough drama already, Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, is making waves of her own. She's determined to win over Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and this time she's not taking no for an answer. In a tense scene teased for later in the week, Daphne confronts Carter in a highly emotional and aggressive moment. She demands that Carter forget about hope and start building a future with her. She closes the physical space between them while Carter steps back, clearly uncomfortable. Carter has always been a gentleman, but Daphne's assertiveness might push him too far. Will Daphne go over the edge? And could she cause trouble between Carter and Hope, just when Hope needs emotional stability the most? On top of all her emotional turmoil with Finn and Steffi, Luna still hasn't let go of her obsession with Will Spencer, Crew Morrow. Though she's fixated on building a family with Finn, her personal desires seem to bleed into every interaction. Could this be the beginning of a new, even darker twist? Luna's unpredictability and obsessive behavior make her a wild card, and with Sheila as her mentor, anything is possible. As the week progresses, the emotional stakes only rise. With Liam's fate sealed, relationships are tested, old wounds are reopened, and new alliances begin to form. Luna's bold return and escalating behavior could ignite new wars in the Finnegan household. Hope and Steffi's truce may be short-lived as Luna's involvement deepens. And Daphne's demands may just turn Carter's world upside down. The Bold and the Beautiful's ongoing storyline features Steffi making a shocking revelation to Hope concerning Liam's health. Initially, she urged Liam to disclose his diagnosis to Hope. With the weight of Liam's health secret weighing on her, she has a hard time keeping it away from Hope. Tearily, she visits her and gives her the sad news. Here's what she says to Hope. What does Steffi tell Hope about Liam in The Bold and the Beautiful? A tearful Steffi prepares to break the news to Hope about Liam's brain tumor diagnosis on The Bold and the Beautiful. The recent preview focuses on Finn, who provides Liam with the necessary medication to help extend his life as much as possible. Steffi visits and asks Liam to reveal his diagnosis to Hope, given they don't know how much time he has in hand. However, he refused to inform Hope about the same, citing that he doesn't want many people to know about his diagnosis. Additionally, he also gets worried about Hope's future after his demise. Therefore, he urges Hope to give Carter another chance. He wants her to reconcile. This will reassure him that someone is there after he is gone to take care of her. Elsewhere, Steffi is finding it difficult to keep Liam's diagnosis hidden from Hope. She gathers all the strength and visits Hope. When they meet, Hope asks Steffi about what she wants to have a conversation about. As she is about to disclose, she begins crying and reveals that it's about Liam. Hope immediately starts to panic and asks her to disclose the secret. Steffi continues sobbing and reveals that Liam is suffering from a life-threatening disease. It remains to be seen how this truth will seemingly impact Hope's life, and whether it will lead her to reconcile with Carter. The soft light of the Forrester living room cast long shadows across the wooden floors as Steffi Forrester sat at the edge of the couch, twisting a handkerchief in her hands. Her heart beat wildly, the weight of the secret she held growing heavier with every breath. She had wrestled with herself for days, uncertain if she had the right to reveal it, but the time had come. Liam's request had been clear, but her conscience screamed louder than his plea for silence. She had to tell Hope. Across town, Hope Logan sat in her office at Forrester Creations, flipping through fabric swatches. Her mind wasn't on the designs. It was on Liam. Ever since their quiet, painful split, there had been a lingering sense that something wasn't quite right. He had been distant, withdrawn, and now Steffi had called, saying she needed to talk, alone. Hope's stomach twisted with unease. When the knock on her door finally came, she looked up to see Steffi standing there, eyes red-rimmed and face pale. Something was definitely wrong. "Steffi," Hope said, rising to her feet. "Are you okay?" Steffi hesitated at the threshold, then stepped inside. "Hope, can we sit down?" Hope nodded and gestured to the couch near the corner window. They both sat, and the silence that followed was deafening. Hope watched as Steffi took a shaky breath and looked down at her hands. "I didn't know how to do this," Steffi began softly. "And I've gone back and forth 100 times. But I can't carry this anymore. You deserve to know." Hope's heart dropped. "Know what?" Steffi's eyes welled with tears again. She reached for Hope's hand and gripped it tightly. "It's about Liam." Hope froze. "What happened? Is he okay?" "No," Steffi whispered. "He's not." "Hope, Liam has a brain tumor." Hope blinked, as if the words hadn't quite registered. Brain tumor." Tears slipped down Steffi's cheeks. "He was diagnosed a few weeks ago. Finn discovered it after Liam collapsed at the beach with Kelly. At first, they thought it might be something minor, maybe stress or exhaustion, but the scans showed otherwise." Hope stood abruptly, staggering a step backward. No, that can't be. I just saw him. He looked fine. He's trying to stay strong for everyone. Especially for you and the kids," Steffi said, rising slowly. "But it's bad, Hope. The doctors don't know how long he has. It's aggressive. Finn got him started on treatment to slow it down, but it's terminal." Hope asked, her voice cracking. Steffi nodded slowly. Hope turned away, her hand covering her mouth as a sob broke free. The room spun around her. Her knees gave way, and she sank into the chair. "Why didn't he tell me?" she cried. "How could he keep this from me?" "He didn't want to burden you," Steffi said, moving to kneel beside her. "He said he didn't want to be pitied. He was also worried about your future." Hope shook her head, dazed. "My future? Without him? He asked me to talk to you. He wants you to be okay after he's gone. And he wants you to consider giving Carter another chance." Hope looked up, stunned. "Carter?" Steffi nodded. "He said Carter always looked out for you. He thinks you two could have something safe." Loving. He wants you to be happy, Hope, even if it's not with him. Hope's heart shattered anew. She thought of Liam's gentle smile, his protectiveness, the way he always put their family first. And now he was fading away in silence, alone. I would have never let him go through this by himself, she whispered. How could he think I wouldn't want to be there for him? He thought it would hurt you more, Steffi said. He was trying to protect you. Hope buried her face in her hands. This isn't fair. We just found our way back to peace. We were co-parenting, working things out. And now he's dying? Steffi nodded, reaching to wrap her arms around her. I'm so sorry, Hope. I didn't know what else to do. He begged me not to say anything, but I couldn't keep it in anymore. You needed to know. Hope cried into Steffi's shoulder, grief and confusion battling inside her. For years, they had been rivals, torn between love and legacy. But in this moment, there were no sides, just two women, both broken by the same man's suffering. Later that day, Hope drove straight to Liam's apartment. Her hands trembled as she knocked on the door. When Liam opened it, he looked surprised to see her, but the guilt in his eyes gave everything away. Steffi told you, he said quietly. Hope didn't speak. She stepped inside and turned to face him. Why, Liam? Why would you keep this from me? He sighed, defeated. Because I didn't want to see that look in your eyes. The one you're giving me now. You thought I'd what? Abandon you? Pity you. She said, voice rising. I thought it would break you, he said. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want you spending the last days we have together watching me get worse. Tears filled Hope's eyes again. You don't get to make that choice for me. Liam looked down, ashamed. I just wanted you to have a life after me. One with someone like Carter who can give you stability and love. I needed to know you'd be okay. Hope stepped forward and took his face in her hands. I'm not thinking about Carter. Or anyone else. I'm thinking about you. About the man I loved for years. The father of my children. You don't get to push me away and carry this alone. I want to be there. Every step. Good or bad. Liam's voice cracked. But I'm scared, Hope. So am I, she whispered. But we do it together. He pulled her into an embrace, their grief colliding in the silence between them. For the first time in weeks, Liam allowed himself to cry, burying his face into her hair, letting the pain wash over him. The following week was filled with hospital visits, quiet moments, and long, difficult conversations. Hope sat beside Liam during his treatments. She learned the names of his medications, memorized the warning signs, and kept a notebook filled with questions for Finn. Steffi checked in daily, juggling her own guilt and concern while trying to keep things normal for Kelly. Finn remained Liam's quiet guardian, doing everything he could to buy him more time. But the disease was relentless. Some days, Liam seemed like his old self, charming, funny, thoughtful. Other days, he struggled to remember things, his headaches so intense he couldn't sit upright. Through it all, Hope stayed by his side. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in shades of gold, Liam and Hope sat on the balcony of his apartment. You know, he said softly, this isn't how I thought my story would end. Hope smiled gently. It's not over yet. He looked at her. You really believe that? I believe that every moment we have matters, whether it's months or days. I'm not leaving you, Liam. I never really did. He squeezed her hand. You're stronger than I ever gave you credit for. She chuckled through her tears. You're just figuring that out now. They left together, and for a moment, the weight of the world lifted. Elsewhere, Carter stood outside Forrester Creations, staring down at a message Hope had sent. Thank you for always being there. Right now, my heart's with Liam. I hope you understand. He did. Completely. And he knew that no matter what happened next, he would always be there, waiting if ever needed. Back at Liam's place, Hope tucked him into bed. He was tired again, exhausted, really, but peaceful. She sat beside him, brushing a hand through his hair. "Thank you," he whispered, barely audible. "For what?" she asked. "For loving me." "For staying." Hope leaned down and kissed his forehead. "Always." As Liam drifted into sleep, Hope stared out at the stars. The future was uncertain. The road ahead would be hard, but she would walk it, with him, for as long as there was time. Please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos.